live. So let me just check out here. Just a second. What's going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and today it is. Let's see. It's already February 2023. It's February the 3rd. It's 3 p.m. I know I said 5 p.m. in the announcement for this live stream. Stupid mistake on my end. Hopefully. This doesn't get you into trouble with your schedule if you were planning to watch this stream. Anyways, how are you all doing? I think you all know why I all gathered you here today, because today is the day that we're finally gonna find some clients. So as you might know, last week we did a portfolio live stream, which was the initiative of me. Because I had some comments in another live stream where people said they were struggling with finding clients online, and that is of course a very big and important part of being a creative and making a living out of being a creative. So the idea today is I'm going to show you some pointers and give you some tips and tricks on how to find clients online. And one thing to note here is that the purpose of this live stream, or the purpose of this video, is that there's going to be a workshop on how to find serious clients. So we aren't going to focus on people DMing you on Instagram wanting a logo for 50 bucks. We want those actual clients that are willing to pay the big bucks for a serious project. So the goal here is to find potential clients that land you larger projects and more serious creative career, because you're not going to make a living out of doing logos for 50 bucks for the rest of your life. And if you think you are, then I'm wishing you the best of luck with your burnout that you're eventually going to have. Sounds a bit harsh maybe, but that's essentially what's going to happen. Anyways, so as you can see right in front of me, I have a client sheet, or well, it's an empty spreadsheet. Well, we're going to turn this into a client sheet. So what is a client sheet? Essentially what a client sheet is we're going to make some sort of a database for ourselves, where we're going to put on a giant list of potential people that we would like to work with, or that we might be able to work with, and that we want to reach out to. So I'm just going to change the color on this top part, and so that the goal of this is to do this in a kind of a workshop format. So I'm going to start out from scratch. So if you want to join along, that's completely possible. So we're going to make a database with a client name. And people can correct me on my English spelling, because I don't think that this is the right word. Right? Okay, so this is not an English word, I think. And I don't mean pen friend. I mean... Wait, let me just translate. Most professional freaking live stream right here. Oh, so it is an English word then. Okay, cool. Anyways, the goal here is that we're gonna make a sheet with the name of the company or the name of the potential client, who the person is that we can reach out to. And this is mostly the case when it's a larger company. For example, for a label, there's a lot of people working for a label, for example. We need to reach out to someone who can help us get our foot into the door to make our artworks or logos or whatever. Then we'll do email. Phone number we can leave empty, because this is kind of the... Well, no, let's just do phone number. But I don't want to like dox or put too many people's information online. In the meantime, you can follow along while I'm doing this, but I would love to hear about your week. How was your week? Did you do work? Did you go to school? Did you do any commissions? Let me know in the chat. And in the meantime, let me just make this a little bit larger. Because we're designers, so we have to do everything neatly like this. Make this a little bit darker. Okay, cool. So correspondent, email, phone number. Maybe like we'll do title. So the title of the correspondent, phone number. Yeah, depending on what you do, for example, maybe we can do something where you can leave a mark on whether you want to do logo design, album cover work, animation, 3D stuff. So maybe we'll do like a checkbox thing where maybe we'll just change the color on these, but we'll do like a, I don't know, design work, design worker, animation, web design, I don't know, like illustration. If you do this step is only necessary if you do multiple like things, like multiple disciplines. If you're just a graphic designer, then you can just leave this as it is. But let me just change the color on these. So for design work, we'll pick orange. For animation, we'll pick green, blue, and I don't know, purple. And then we can just change all of these like checkboxes, I think. Wait, so let me just do this, and then wait, can I change these to checkboxes? Let me just, this is like a this is a Google spreadsheet workshop, not a finding clients workshop. So format, we can change this to like a, not a cell, checkbox. Yeah, here. All right. And now let's see if we can do some conditional formatting. So if you don't know what that is, basically if this thing, if it's, I don't know, if it's not empty, change the color to green. Wait, but then I don't know if this works. I know, doesn't matter. Okay. So, people in the chat, how are you doing? Just been in the studio, actually working on some visuals. Nice. Had 2 client meetings this week. We'll see if it's gonna be something. Ooh, cool. Get a productive week, guys. All right. So, okay. Client name. So I want to give you some pointers on how to start here, because I think a lot of people tuning in for this will be people maybe struggling to find their first client as well. And to those people, I would say try to start small. So maybe there's like a way. Start maybe with some local companies that are pretty cool, or maybe like some other potential like companies that are around you, which are like smaller or just starting out, that you can maybe help out with. And of course, these aren't like the big whales, the giant labels that are willing to pay you like piles of money to do something, but these are the companies that will get you your foot into the door as a freelancer in the first place. Anyway, so we're gonna basically like look up companies and then putting them in this overview. So for me, for example, I live in Tilburg, the Netherlands, which is for the Dutch standards, it's a fairly big town or city, not the largest. I think there's 250,000 people living in here. So just to give you an estimate. What's up, Yoradu? How you doing? All right, so a good way to start is, for example, let's see if you like a music label to work, maybe. Let's see what just pops up. So this is a music label in Tilburg, which I've never heard of. Oh, I actually heard of this label. I know this artist at least. But yeah, so a good way to reach out is to check out, like, I don't know, what happens if you click on here. Maybe there's like a contact form or some sorts. Okay, so there's an email here. So if we just open this, okay, so we do have like a name and someone to reach out to for potential cover artwork. So what we can do here is, I don't want to fill in too much info here because, yeah, well, actually, I'm just gonna do that, I think. So you can just paste the email in there, and of course the goal here isn't to just copy my list and then like do stuff for them. It's literally the goal here is to just make a database for yourself with local companies that you in your local area. So let me just go back and go to Tilburg again. Shield Recordings, punk and hardcore label from Tilburg, Netherlands. All right. So we do see a couple of album covers. So as you can see, I've never heard of these two companies here. So it's actually a good thing, because that way, that way we essentially like find new companies to potentially work for. So here we have another info email. And a good practice perhaps is also to just like add another like next to title maybe. We can just put in like about or something, and then we'll just do like Dutch hip hop label, and then this is a punk and hardcore label. So essentially what we're doing here is we're gonna make a giant list of potential clients. So yeah, I would probably say, okay, suggest you're making like a similar spreadsheet. And actually what I'm gonna do is, can I share make a copy? I'm gonna put the link to this copy in in the description, so you can just download this sheet and then follow along. So how do we do it? How do we do that? Share with others. Anyone with the link can. Wait, no, I think. Okay, so this way you can download it. And let me just put that in the description right now. Alright, so now this sheet should be available to you in the description. What's up, Green Designs? How are you doing? So essentially, if you want to join along during this, what you can do is download this sheet, put it in your own drive, or download it and open it in Excel or something, and start making your own database a little bit. So I'm just gonna go this one, and of course you'll find that like sometimes you don't have like the name of someone to reach out to in the label because there's not like something listed, and that's of course completely fine. Just try to fill in as much as possible of these people and see what you can do. For example, these three, I don't think this website, because they already have a website, they probably don't need any web design done, but they do still release stuff. And one of the best practices, if you find like a company that's new to you, so if you don't know, I would always say do a little bit of research about them, because eventually we're going to reach out to all of these companies, and then if you share a if you're going to share like if you're going to send a cold email, don't do something like, for example, okay, I get a lot of cold emails, and if I get a cold email like, improve your SEO, I'm gonna make your website better, I saw on your website that your website wasn't performing well, I don't care about that, because I know that this person sent that cold email to maybe 10,000 people. What I do, however, do appreciate is if I get a cold email and someone says, "Hey Tom, that I know, okay, this person saw my videos, because nowhere in my email or nowhere on my website it is listed that my name is actually Tom. So if someone reaches out to me on my Dreadlabs email and says, hey Tom, I saw your videos and I think you can improve on your SEO on your website, or blah 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 blah, then I know this person actually took the time to know who I am, get to know who I am, and, you know, reach out to me specifically for being me, and because they want to work with Dreadlabs. So that way I know that this person is actually serious and not just spamming a lot of people. Let's take like this shield recordings as an example. And actually what I'm gonna do is select all of these, make them a little bit larger so you guys can see a little bit better. And again, I don't want you guys to use these these like labels, because I want you to search for them by yourself, like in the sense that I want you to find some labels that are closer to you where you live, so that you can also use that as an in, if that makes sense. And actually what I'm gonna do is, just for the sake of this, I'm just gonna hide. Can I change this to like a password or something? No. Anyways, I'll just make them white for now, or very light, so I can still read them. Okay. So, anyways, in the example that we're gonna reach out to shield recordings here, what I would do is I don't personally listen to a lot of punk and hardcore. I know someone who does, so I would probably sit down with someone and say like, okay, so can you tell a little bit more about this? Is there a way that I can learn myself a little bit more about this? Of course, I would start listening to their releases a little bit, see if this is a match for me or not. Although I do think that my taste in music differs a little bit from what this label releases, I do think that my style of artwork can probably work for them a little bit better. So what I would do is like say, okay, what's up Shield Records, my name is Tom, I run this studio called Dreadlabs. I'm a graphic designer, animator, illustrator, and I was just looking around in if there were any record labels around Tilburg that were interested in hiring freelance graphic designers in order to do the album covers. Maybe what I can also do is check out their social profile and see, okay, they just post pictures on their Instagram, whatever. I could say, okay, I can make a template for you in After Effects, which basically makes sure that you can promote your music with an animation based on the cover artwork. That way you can reach more people on social media and have them hear your music before it actually comes on Spotify. So, explain to them what the purpose is of you providing your service to them, if that makes sense. So if you have any questions so far, if anything, or if you think this is clear already, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of the way that I go about finding new clients. So I'm gonna do a little bit more of a specific search, and that's techno music Tilburg. Just see what pops up, we of course got all of the clubs and stuff. So techno events in Tilburg. Okay, so there's this like club which releases techno music, I think. Okay, let's just okay, so I just saw like a so yeah, we have Pakhuis, which is a club. I never worked with them or something, but let's check out their website. So yeah, they do have like a lot of events and stuff, as you can see here. So yeah, might be a good way to reach out to them, I guess. So the most important thing is when doing this research is really like see what happens, what you can do with them. So if I click on contact, okay, so they do have a phone number here. they do have like a email as well. So what I'm gonna do is just put it like this. And this is an event venue. And I'm just gonna make these emails well, a little bit more invisible, and this is just because I don't want people like later reaching out to all these emails just because this live stream is there. Like I said, I do want you to find your own niches and your own interests a little bit, because my in for them would, or the way that I would write the cold email to them is probably like, okay, I am a huge fan of techno music, I listen to it a lot, I produce it myself, but as I'm working as a graphic designer, so that way, yeah, I don't know, is there any way that I can do like a next flyer for your techno events or whatever? So what I'm gonna do is call this sheet February 2023, and it's always a good thing to maybe like update this list every other month or every other every other like, I don't know, every 6 months or so. So what's up, guys? How are you guys doing? Soinkler, can you do what? So yeah, and like I said, if you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to ask me in the chat, because yeah, I'm here to help. So again, let's search for maybe like music Tilburg and see what else pops up. Electronic concerts. You get Instagram pages. So this is an event. The last edition was 18 weeks ago. So yeah, let's see if there's a website for this event. So you're curious if we, so yeah, the goal here is to find clients still. So maybe later in the live stream, depending on how far in we are, we can reach out. We can do the reach out part. But yeah, the goal here is to just find clients at first, and do this in a really like systematic way. So first, we're gonna make sure that we have plenty of potential clients to reach out to. And the way I go about doing like this, instead of like finding a client, writing an email, is because it can be very tiring. And although I think that you should do the personal approach, or if you are able to go there but in person, or if you're able to call, that's always a good thing. But in this case, we're just going to go by email. But the way I want to do it like this is just because then you have a large list of potential clients. And let's say that we end up having like 50 clients or something. Then essentially what we can do is write the same basic format or template for an email, for a cold email. You know, listing your services, listing your experience, stuff like that. And then once we actually have that, we can just modify that template 50 times in order to make it match to the potential client that you want to reach out to. So this is why I want you to be selective when you're searching for potential clients, and then you can be selective in writing an email. But if you have to write every email over and over again, or if you're just going to copy paste labels, or if you're just going to copy paste emails and then just like send the same email to every single one of them, no one's going to respond, you know. So this way we're going to try to be as personal as possible while also being systematic, if that makes sense. And yes, because and now we're reaching out and sending our portfolio over. So what I would probably send over is this link. I shared it to you last week as well in the live stream. But this is a capability deck that I made. Essentially, what this is this lists a lot of my services, and of the freelancers that I work with. So it's kind of similar to a portfolio, but this basically lists all of my services, and we're still working on a portfolio website. So Yeah, I hope this answered your question, Axiom Bot. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So yeah, this is basically all of the services that I offer. So we can see that we have experience in 3D works, in merchandising, and animation, and in graphic design as well. And then we have other services, which is like video editing, web development, copywriting, social media management, and photography. So yeah, basically, I also put this in the signature of my emails so that people can also click on this link that already have worked with me in the past. For example, someone whom I've worked with doing graphic design, but that person maybe didn't know that I was doing animation, and that way they can find out about all of the services that I offer. So that makes sense. So yeah. Anyways, let's take it a little bit more broad this time. So not gonna do like Tilburg based, but we're gonna do like I don't know, maybe like find some labels, techno label Berlin. I don't know. 20 essential techno labels that every fan should know. Okay. So here we have a blog with like labels. So these are probably like larger labels. So okay. Here we have like an album of Richie Hawtin, but I actually was looking for this label, but apparently I don't know. Okay, so here we have Tresor Berlin. So go to about. Here we have a contact. So what I would probably do here is, for example, I don't know this label yet. I would read about this in the about section, check out their catalog for a second, so listen to their tracks, see if also a very important thing, see if the artworks match with something that I would be able to do. And looking at it, I think that would work fine. Also gonna check out if they have okay, they do have a SoundCloud link. A lot of followers. Let's see, check out the Instagram. Okay, this is a fairly large label, as you can see. Hey, we are hiring. Okay, so this is for an internship, not what I'm actually looking for. Also a good thing, by the way, if the potential website, or if the potential client has a page where it says like job openings or something, check it out, because sometimes they do hire freelancers to begin with. Alright, so here we have okay, so this is basically like the giant what is it, contact page, general inquiries. So yeah, I think for this is like a general inquiry. And yeah, one thing I want you to know, by the way, there is a large chance that if you, for example, make a list out of 50 potential clients, depending on how large the potential client is, of course, like if it's a smaller client, there's going to be a different story. That's why I want you to start small if you've never done this before. I'm not going to lie with you, like there's going to be a large chance that they won't respond, and that's the reason. The reason is just because some people might not just be interested in having a graphic designer because they do it themselves, or they don't feel like they need one at the moment, and that's completely fine, of course. So I would say, make sure that you do this in large volumes, because the more people you reach out to in a personal, serious way, of course, not like with a giant BCC email, the higher the chance that they will respond. So, but yeah, I think that's the main takeaway from this. So another thing is, what I would like to do here is, let's see. Okay, I kind of forgot what I was talking about, but anyways, so we'll just write down their email. And I think they will benefit from animation, illustration. Well, not illustration, maybe. Anyways, okay. Let's continue our search. Detroit, Berlin, techno label from Antwerp, Belgium. Cool. All right. Contact. Oh, it's an email. Hello at Detroit. Okay. And try to be as specific as possible when doing the about section, because that way you can use that in your email as well. You know, like for example, I live fairly close to Antwerp, so what I could say here is that I would be interested in going to and visit the label, or you know, that I can tell them like, okay, I live close by, so we can actually meet up in real life. Stuff like that can also help you, you know, make the sale a little bit better. Again, if you have any questions so far, don't hesitate to reach out. Alright, so yeah. I'm just gonna do this while you guys are watching, because I would think, I think it would work fairly well. Techno label, Belgium. I think the techno scene is a little bit bigger than in the Netherlands, but also Rave Alert is a label that I would like to reach out to, maybe. So let's check their Instagram. There's definitely like some potential here, graphic design wise, I think. I mean, their design work is nice, but I think we can up their game a little bit more. Especially if we look at these animations, I think we can definitely make something more interesting for them, in my opinion. Alright, so, okay, let's see if they have a website or something. raveler.be, general questions. Let's see if they have a website. They do. Latest releases. Contacts. Bookings. Okay, I'm just gonna use this, I think. The info there. All right. And also, like, for now, the goal is to put in as many like potential clients in this list as possible. And after that, I think the way to go is to just do a little bit more research before you actually start reaching out and email them. But for now, you know, this little small research that I did was, I think it would work really well. And thinking of it, I think there's another label that I really like artwork-wise, and that is Black Plague. So see if they have a website. Techno label based in Paris, France. Go to their Instagram or their Bandcamp, perhaps. Okay, so this is a So okay, here's our link tree. Okay, so these are some of the EPs that they've released at least, and I do like a lot of these. So okay, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Bandcamp. Okay, so there's not really like a good way to reach out to this label. So we require a little bit more, I guess. We need to do a little bit more research, see if they somewhere, if their email or whatever, it's somewhere. But it might be a little bit harder. Maybe on Spotify. So these guys are making it hard for us, but here we have an email. See, if you keep searching, you'll see you'll find what you're looking for. Oops. All right. I think for now we can just remove the title because we haven't really reached out. But okay, so I think most of these will benefit from like design, animation, and illustration. So yeah, thank you for the knowledge, George Stream. Thank you so much, Jambot. Good luck with your pursuit in clients, I guess. All right. Let's check this out. Let's see what. Okay, so we're. There's also artists perhaps that we can reach out to. So I do like Kozlov. Let's see if they have like a demo promo contact. So okay, this is a personal email. Why is this like not the same color? Anyways, yeah, and I think this DJ can profit from design and animation work. So this is the way that I would probably reach out to these like labels and stuff. So yeah, and you just go after what you're like passionate about the most, you know, like if you're really into a certain style of music and seeing local or smaller artists that you like within that genre, I think that that could work really well for you. So yeah, I would say see if you can find some other stuff that will work there, I guess. Yeah, just browsing through my SoundCloud likes, seeing if there's something that would work for me or that I could work with. For now, I don't think so. Let's see. Okay, what else do we have here, label-wise? So this is in Belgian, so you cannot really read it, but perhaps I think this is labeled from Amelie Lens. So let's see if we can. So okay, also a good thing to note here is that they have a very strict format that they do their designs in. So I don't think there's a point in reaching out to them and thinking they can do artwork for them, because I don't think that this will work for them if they just use a what is it? How'd you call this? If they use a template, because they're not. it's just someone filling in the template, right? So Center 91. It's a Bandcamp. So yeah, I would say like find like ways to find potential clients this way. So if the Spotify links, you can also just Google like random stuff, you know, like I don't know, streetwear label Netherlands. Let's see what pops up. Yeah, okay, now this mostly like probably like pops up like I don't know, some larger brands, so that might already have graphic designers. But it's always worth checking it out, see what pops up in there, you know. Honestly, I prefer to work more in the music industry, so for me it's more for reaching out to labels and stuff, because I do like album covers a little bit more. But yeah, so okay, for now I think you get the gist of what I mean with this. So now I think it's a nice way to start writing a format that we can use as a cold email. So, dear client, I'm reaching out design I would always like, I'm not the best at like creative writing or at writing in general, so I'm just gonna try and wing this. But what I would say is like, okay, I wouldn't like make this your life story, if that makes sense. What I would do is like, okay, dear client, I'm reaching out about any potential job that you might require in terms of graphic design, animation, illustration. My name is Tom, and I am a 27-year-old visual designer, visual artist from the Netherlands. Is in album, design, animation, but I also have experience in animation, web design, and illustration. You can find a full overview of all of the services that I offer right here. And then we can just put a link in here that leads to the capability deck that I just talked about. So let's just copy like this, and we can enter a link. All right, let's see, is there anything necessary that we can that we need to put in here? Let's just make this text a little bit bigger so you can read along a little bit better. I work together with a team of interns and freelancers, which so any that we can tackle projects both large and small. What's up, Nathan? What's up, Mike? How you guys doing? Late to class, a little bit, but no worries. So I'm just gonna go over and repeat most of it like in a bit. But yeah, for now we're just like writing a template for potential cold emails. So yeah, save me a seat. Yeah, doing well, man, doing well. So let's see. Dear client, I'm reaching out about any potential jobs that you might require in terms of graphic design, animation, illustration. My name is Tom, and I'm 27-year-old visual artist from the Netherlands, from Tilburg, the Netherlands, maybe if like. In the past, I've worked with clients such as Spinning Records, and this is of course where you can try to name drop if you already work for other clients and that you might have any positive like what you call them references from. Freedom Records. And of course, like if for now, for example, if I'm reaching out to a label, I would list a lot of labels that I worked for. If I would reach out to like a venue, I would list a couple of venues that I worked for, and so on and so on. Who else did I work for? Completely forgetting right now. And much more. You can find an overview of my latest work in my portfolio here. And then we can just link to your portfolio link. Mine's not finished yet, but if you already have your portfolio, you can just put it in the link in here. And here is like where I would say like make it personal, or I would probably put that somewhere higher up in email. I think like here. So. I hope this gives you a good overview of who I am, the services that I offer. It would be lovely to gather in the future. If you have any queries or if you'd like to hop on a call or like reach out, do not hesitate to do so. Kind regards, Dreadlabs, and blah 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 blah. You know the drill. I'm not gonna put my phone number in here, but yeah, this is just a random phone. This is not a random phone. It's just literally like this. Anyways, yeah, for make it personal, of course, I would reach out, do a little bit of research. Maybe I would advise you to reach out to potential people that you know a little bit about already. Don't just Google random things that I just did. I did that mainly a little bit because I didn't want to, like put in too much personal info from people that I might know personally or vaguely know personally. But if you've ever had a chat with like a local promoter or someone, you can like put a little backstory in there, like, oh, I remember talking to you at this and this party, or I went to like these events that you hosted, or I like listened to the releases that you put out last year. Make sure that you actually that you know who you're talking to, if that makes sense. All right, glad to help, Andressa. So yeah, if that makes sense. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out in the chat, by the way. Anyways, yeah, so I would just copy this format and then go to like the client sheet that we just made. Like, okay, for this, I know that this guy's name is Ivo. And then just put in like, oh, I've listened. I actually listened to some of the main artist's songs quite a long time ago. I haven't really listened to him that much lately, but of course, yeah, you can do this in a more personal way. So what I'm gonna do is after this live stream, I'm gonna make an overview of the main takeaways from this video, and I'm gonna put those in a pointing at the camera reel, pointing at the title reel, of course. Maybe even do like a recap video on it for the YouTube. You know, make it a little bit larger, I guess, and more in depth. But that's just for the people that don't want to watch a whole 1 hour live stream of me doing this. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna also put this cold email. Of course, you cannot say that you are me, but dear client, I'm reaching out about any potential jobs in the microgram of, and I'll just do this like services. My name is your name, and I am a specify who you are. I specialize in your specializations. Alright, glad that it's actually useful to you guys, because I was a little bit afraid that this might not be useful, or that it would be like too much general knowledge, but also using other expertises. Like personal, you can overview it right here. Your info, clients such as other clients. You can find an overview of my latest work in my portfolio here. Alright, so I'm just gonna mark all of the parts in the text where you have to change something, so you don't write this copy and paste email, because it happens a lot. Oh my god, I have to start all over again. But yeah, I hope that this will help you out a little bit in your journey to find your first client. It's just clients. Alright, so I think that I have all the info blocks, right? Okay, save to drive. And where was the empty client sheet? I think it's this one. Yeah, let's call it template in front of it. And we'll share this. And I'm going to put this also in the description. So you can just grab those for free. You can download them to your own computer, edit them, and this way you can just use this in order to do a cold email. I think I'm going to end off the stream in a bit, because I'm not going to sit here for an hour and find clients, because that would be kind of boring. I think the main takeaways I'm just going to list one more time. So if you're finding your first client, start local, start small. See if there are any local labels, venues, whatever you want to work for in your local area. And if you're, I used to live in a small town. I didn't live in the city at first. So then what you want to do is just see where the nearest city is close to you. Even if that's very, very far away, if it's still in the same country, you're basically good to go. And of course, this is an English email. You can translate this to your own language. That way, for example, I'm not going to send an English email to a Dutch client if I'm also Dutch, because that comes off as spam, if that makes sense. So yeah, put it in the language that you think that your label is talking in, or you know your label actually speaks. Oh, I see the people coming in, and just to be sure, I wanted to ask people in chat: are you actually able to download this, and also are you able to? I hope you're not able to edit this. I just want you to download it for yourself. So let me know if that actually is possible, because I don't want people to edit this and then coming back in a week and people deleted all of the stuff that I put in here. So yeah, if you're reaching out to your first client, make sure that you actually know them as well. So do a little bit of research up front and actually let the client know that you did your research, or that you are interested in them. Don't just put a blatant cold email in there like you just looked them up on Google and that's it. Because if you want to work for a potential client and there's a reason why you want to work with them, right? Because, for example, if I want to work with labels, it's because I'm interested in music and not because I just want to work with anyone. And let the client know that you are like that, because that's actually who you are. So yeah, get that across to them as well. What else? So yeah, also if you have if you've ever met any cool people that might have a potential job for you, you can also just use this and put them in your client template. So what I would advise you to do is first do everything in phases. So at first start your phase with orienting, finding a lot of clients, finding a lot of venues, finding a lot of things that you can put into this client sheet, this one. And once this is really full, you can just grab that email template and then just whip up 50 emails in one day. So this is a lot more productive than doing everything one by one. That's just going to take a lot longer in my experience. And if you do everything in phases, so first fill up the sheet, then maybe try to fill out the about section as thoroughly as possible. Do a little bit more research and then do all of the cold emails in one day, because it's just gonna work a lot faster in my experience. Then let's see what else. Ooh, another good one. So if you actually reach out to people on a personal basis, so for example, you saw on Instagram oh, this is the label head of this label, or this is the organizer or the promoter of this event, and it's just a personal Instagram, don't be a stalker, don't reach out to them on Instagram. See if they have a business email somewhere and reach out to that business email. If not, don't reach out to their personal email. Don't send them a DM, because that comes, and for the love of God, if you want to be taken seriously, don't do business on Instagram DMs. I know that happens a lot, and I have people reach out to me in the DMs on Instagram a lot as well. But if you want to come across as a professional, just look up their email, and it's also possible if you cannot find it, you can send them a DM and ask them if they have a business email that you can reach out to. But don't go to people's personal pages and send them messages about work there, because a lot of people will not be interested in working with someone like that who has no boundaries. So let's see. Also make sure that you offer we talked about it last week, but make sure that you actually have a professional portfolio that you can use in your email. Don't send an Instagram link to a promoter on email, because it's also not the most professional thing to do. Then what else? I think that's it for me, and what I'm going to do after the stream is see if I can make a nice overview of what to do, so some do's and don'ts and stuff like that. Basically make this into a tutorial format, because for me this was a little bit of winging it, seeing if you have any questions and seeing if it's seeing if it's clear to you guys. So let me know in the chat, is this like everything that I talked about so far, is this clear to you? And if not, if something is still a little bit weird, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, because then I can use this as and I can take this away in the video and, you know, go over it in a more short version, I guess. So the background music a little bit too loud. I can just lower that a little bit more. Is this better? It's too soft. So thanks for the feedback, Sophia. It's also good for me to know, of course. So yeah, for now, what I want to do is, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat right now, because now I'm still here and able to answer your questions, and in a bit I will be gone. So yeah, or if you have any questions, and also what I would love to hear is, where are you going to look for your first clients, or where are you going to look for new clients? That's something that I'm really curious about. Like what kind of design, or, you know, do you guys want to pursue in? I'm really curious to hear that. You're gonna reach out to labels, promoters, music events. Let me know. All right. So there are some. Oh, there have been some retracted messages. That's actually a thing. Yeah. Ooh, action sports, character design, clothing, gaming, into music, film and gaming. So yeah, I would so for example, I'm not that much into gaming, but I would presume that there's a lot of indie or smaller gaming studios on Steam, and maybe not sure if there's like you can search on location, or if you can actually filter by development studio or something on Steam, but you might be able to find like game developers or studios or agencies that you can work with in your local area. X-ray, if one of the clients reached out to me asking for price, what should I respond? I should start making questions about the details of projects, etc. That's a good question, X-ray. So for example, if someone reaches out, I always have in my head a little bit of a basic on where I start with logo designs and stuff like that, but it's also a very good practice for them. If someone just reaches out like, okay, how much for a logo or whatever, ask them to be more specific. So okay, what is this logo for? Is it for a brand? Is it for an artist? For a company? What will the logo be on? So for example, will it just be for an Instagram page? Will it also be printed on t-shirts and stuff like that? Will it also be, you know, if it's going to be visible everywhere, there's going to be a lot of exposure of it, and that way, you know, you can ask more, because this also gives you a better picture of how big this company or how big this client actually is. So yeah, start questioning what is the logo for, where it's going to be displayed, also what the turnover is. So does this need to be done in 2 weeks, in 1 month, in 2 months? Do you have the time of the world, all the time in the world to finish this? All good questions to ask your potential client, and if they give that to you, you can do an estimate, like, okay, how long do I think I'm gonna be busy with this logo, and based on that, I have a video on this on pricing, so we can do this in another live stream as well. But I would say, okay, try to calculate how long it will take you to do that logo, and try to convert that kind of to your hourly rate. If you have an hourly rate, I always charge by a project, but try to convert that and then add in some headroom for revisions and stuff like that, and also like the emails that you have to write back and forth, everything like that is also all going to take you time. So if you if you're if you combine all of this, let's say that it takes you, I don't know, 4 days to finish this logo. So what is that? 40 hours or something, then I would say convert it to your hourly rate, and then there's your price that you can give them. Like, and then what you say is, usually for projects like this, I charge between 2,000 and 5,000 euros. And then if you in your head had 2,000 euros lined up, and you say both of these prices, this is called price bracketing. Chris Do has a really good video on this. The client will go like, okay, then we'll go, probably they want to go with the cheaper option, which, and then you will but then the bottom, the 2,000 will also be like the way that you want to ask your, so you will never undercut your own pricing this way, if that makes sense. Hope this helps. So wow, I'm out of breath. I'm getting old. Contact with streamers, gaming studio, looking for artist concept stuff. How do you feel about design packages? Would you suggest using them? Do you mean like asset packs, or do you mean like templates, or? Hourly rates are calculated in retainer fees, correct? So wait. Let me just. I'm so amateur. What are retainer fees again? Oh, so it's like so the retainer fees, I think that's mainly like when you do like, for example, if you have to do, if I make a website for someone and then I have a retainer fee for every month if I do updates to that website still, right? Maximum I charge for now is 100 euros, so I'm a little bit scared asking that kind of prices in the thousands. That's okay, Cray. Like, everyone starts somewhere. When I started out, I charged the same. Don't if you're not confident in saying that you can actually ask that yet, then it's completely fine. But a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to someone and they said like, I'm not sure what project it was. I think it was like a branding package for an event. And I was like, I asked him like, okay, how much did you get for this project? And he was like, I got 400 euros. And I asked him like, how many hours did you put into it? And he was like 60 something. So I just grabbed the calculator and it was like, that's 6 euros an hour. So that's half of the minimum wage of what you can ask if you just go and, you know, work in a grocery store or something. And so, yeah, I would just say, okay, for me that project was like, would be in the thousands if I would work 60 hours on it. So if you charge 100 euros for a logo or something for a project, just make sure that you're not going to work on it like 20 hours or something. You know, like don't put everything below your pay rate. At least try to, because most of the clients will have the respect. Like if you're going to work a full 8-hour day on the project, and I don't know, like let's say the minimum wage is 10 euros. So then just make sure that you get like 80 or something. I don't know. Just what I'm trying to say is just make sure that you're above minimum wage when doing projects, because the ultimate goal here is to make a living out of doing the things that you love, right? And if you're not going to be able to make a living out of it, because if you're going to keep working for clients with like a lower fee, you're going to only attract more clients that are not willing to pay you serious money in order for a serious project. And what I also find is when I did like these lower paying clients, I'm also going to take it less and less seriously. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to be in a downward spiral where I only get not so serious clients who are not willing to not pay me what I actually need to get paid, and me not taking the assignment seriously, which results in me doing not enough serious projects, and it just demotivates you in general, I think. So yeah. The maximum So going back to your question, Nathan, what was it again? I cannot scroll in my OBS, I think. Wait. Where was it? Hourly rates are calculated in retainer fees, correct? So what I usually do is I charge everything by the project. So for example, I'm gonna do this website for 2,500 euros, and I know that like every month I'm gonna have that retainer fee, or I'm gonna he's asking me about a retainer fee because I need to update I don't know, something on this website every month or so, and I'm gonna calculate up front, okay, this is gonna take me 2 hours or something, or it's gonna take me a full day every month. Then I'm gonna just check, okay, I do, like in my head I do have a day rate, and I try to convert it a little bit. So for example, if this retainer fee is gonna be like, okay, I need to work a full day on that website every month, I'm just gonna say, okay, this is 600 euros a month as a retainer fee. That's quite a lot on a website. I don't there's not like a full day of work for me on a website most of the time, but yeah, that's how I just calculate. So in my head I do have like a hourly rate, but when I communicate to my clients, I just always talk in projects, because it's like I talked about this a lot on my channel, and but it's and if you watch the future, you've seen these videos as well. And essentially why I charge by project is if I finish a project early because I'm getting more and more efficient, or if I'm good at my job, I'm gonna punish myself and my client, because I'm gonna punish myself if I finish earlier because I'm not getting paid as much as I initially thought, because I was actually doing my job better. But also my client gets the project later if I work on it longer. So if I finish early, there's a win-win situation, because my client gets it earlier turnover, and I still get paid what I think I'm supposed to get paid, if that makes sense. Yeah. So Psychophantic, can you talk about creating contracts and how you go about making them with clients? So most of the contracts that I get are NDAs, and these are from my clients. So the clients send NDAs to me and that way I'm not supposed to talk about certain aspects of a design job, or I'm not, like, I cannot leak anything, of course. That makes sense. And in contracts, I think this is something that I need to go over in a full separate video or a live stream, because it's quite like a large it's kind of a large thing. But what I usually do is I make sure that I have everything, like I just type everything out really simple in a Word document or whatever. Then I try to, like, if that makes sense, I make sure that there aren't any loopholes or whatever in like what I typed out, and I'm gonna make it so that I'm gonna write it so that everything is in there that I don't want to happen, or to either me or the client. And then I'm gonna and then I reach out to like a paralegal or a lawyer to read over it and make sure that it doesn't have any loopholes, or it does actually check out. And then I just send it over to the client up front. So yeah. Also, Neon PSD. Not sure if you're just tuning in, but this is actually I literally explained this in the whole live stream, so you might have to watch it back. But yeah, thank you for the question, Psychophantic, because I think this is actually a very interesting topic that I need to do a video or a live stream about in the future. So thank you. So Mike, like price packages for design work, like a logo package as tiers of what come with X price. No. What I would do, and that's because every logo is different, what I do is I do have a bottom price for every logo, but X-Gray I think asked, is just make sure that the client has a very distinct picture of what the logo is that you're going to be needing. Like for example, there's a Y2K logo that needs to be done, and it needs to have these stars and this text and custom font, or just like an existing font, or basically make sure that you ask a lot of the questions about like what the project will be. If you have a very good distinct idea of what the project will be, loop that back to the client, or okay, client, if I understand correctly, you need a Y2K logo with 2 stars on it, with a custom-made font, hand-drawn, so it's not like, so you cannot copy it anywhere. Is this correct? And if they say yes, then you covered yourself in, because if they are going to end up saying this is not what I wanted, then you can just go back to that email that says this is exactly what you said you wanted. So that way, both you and the client aren't going over any surprises. And the same way this works for the client as well, because then the client can say, well, I asked for a Y2K logo and you send me like a non-Y2K logo. So this also covers in the client as well. So what I wouldn't work with logo packages, because what I usually do is, if I deliver a logo, I will also make sure that you will get it in every single format. You'll get a social rollout, so you can use it as banners on your social profiles and as a profile picture on every social platform. And let's see. But if you were going to work with tiers, then essentially what you're going to do is you're either going to there's always going to be the cheapest option, and then you're gonna attract clients who always want the cheapest option. And if you do that, you're gonna deliver cheaper work, if that makes sense, right? So and if they grab the cheapest option, you know that you're gonna work on something that you're not gonna be fully motivated for, because they want to have a cheap option. And if you're only offering a good package, then you'll only attract clients that actually want that, and it gives you more motivation to work on it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope that answers your question a little bit. But usually what I do is I have a bottom price, like I said with the price bracketing. My logos usually start out from €1,000, and then within that there are already some revisions, usually 3 big ones. The mood boarding is in there, the contact with the client is in there, as well as a social package, like I just said. So, and then with the price bracketing, you can always do, like, I wouldn't talk in packages, but I would talk about, like, when you do it like price bracketing, and then you can say, like, usually I charge between 1,000 and like 3,000, and then you can, and then if they ask me what is the difference, then you're gonna say, okay, with 1,000 you get like the full package, the whole thing. But if you do the 3,000 package, I'm gonna also do your logo in 3D and do an animation for it, blah 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 blah. So I hope that helps. That answers your question. What do you think of Honeybook for bookkeeping? I don't know. I use Moneybird, and I think that's usually these bookware, these like accounting softwares are usually the same, right? So I'm not sure. I cannot really answer that question, honestly. Sorry, Nathan. Mark, what are your thoughts about visiting business events and meeting potential clients? Well, I do like them, and as I work usually in a more niche, my business events are usually like more of a social gathering than like actual business events. But depending on who you work for, of course, because I'm trying to dive more and more into corporate design next to what I do in the creative scene. And yeah, I think it's a good way to always show your face, have personal connections with potential clients. And I'm also a huge believer in getting, like, if you're going to an event like that and have a good conversation with someone and they are actually really interested in what you do, just leave them a business card, and they usually come back and reach out to you. If it's not for a job, they just want to like talk to you or something, it's always a good thing. So I would always advise you to, if you have the potential to go. But what I would try, however, is here in the Netherlands you sometimes have these like business clubs, and it's like a networking thing, and there's like always like one marketing guy and one, I don't know, like logistics guy, one blah blah blah, and it costs like a lot of money to be in one of these groups, and they just have like networking events with each other or with other groups, and usually not a lot comes out of it. So I would say maybe like attend larger events or more specific events, if that makes sense. Let's say, I don't know, you are a graphic designer and you would love to work a lot more with, I don't know, record stores, or maybe not something music related, maybe vintage car dealers. If you just reach out and go to like a vintage car dealer, what's it called again? I'm gonna look up a translation. Not this kind of scholarship. It's a fair. So if you go to a used or vintage car fair, if you know what that means, then you can just bring your business card, reach out, see, and actually not talk about like how you're a graphic designer, talk about their stands talk about, okay, oh, are you a business owner? Do you actually sell these vintage cars? Are you a collector or whatever? Because you're actually interested in that to begin with, right? So then I would just go and say, okay, have you ever thought about doing a website? Because I see that you are very invested in doing this as a hobby or doing this blah blah blah, and I can potentially help you. And then you should give your card, you know. So number one thing, if you go to these business events and in general as a social person, the number one topic people like to talk about, and this is a universal truth, is about themselves. Everyone loves to talk about themselves. So go into these conversations not with, I am Tom and I want to sell you something, I want to sell my services. No, who are you? And are you actually, what are you doing? And do you like what you do? And then eventually the conversation will roll around towards me. And then I can say, okay, I offer a lot of the services and I can maybe help you with your business. If that makes sense. What's up, Cancer? How you doing, man? Yeah, loving the questions actually. Sophia, what about business cards? What's your opinion on NFC cards? I've had clients ask me to do more and more of those types of cards. So I used paper ones before. I do, however, I really dig those. Yeah, I haven't made one myself, or I haven't made one for a client, but I really like them. I used to want like one of the NFC stickers on the back of my phone. That would go to the link tree of Dreadlabs, and I never got around buying one, but that's because I actually saw when it was COVID and I didn't really meet any people in real life. But I might have to go back and, you know, actually buy them for myself now. But I think that's a really nice way, especially if you're at a more like a social event, like you're gonna hand out business cards. They will always, the reason why business cards work is because people are gonna put them in their pockets, and at some point they're gonna feel like, oh wait, that's that card from that guy Tom from Dreadlabs, blah blah blah. But and the cool thing about these social gatherings where it's a little bit more hectic and there's more, you don't have the time to talk a lot or a long time. You can always just like, okay, if you want to check it out, I'm gonna reach out to other people, other people here. But yeah, here, and then you could just leave them. So it's a really nice and useful way of yeah. I think a combination of both will probably work best, because having something physical always leaves a memory. And usually that memory has to go hand in hand with a good conversation or a good experience with someone. But yeah, I think both work really, really well. Bracelets would also be really cool, yeah. Ooh, that's a good idea, Nathan. Love the conversation here, guys. I really, really do. I'm even getting more motivated to do like more business stuff myself. So where are y'all from? I'm actually wondering. Because if you're from the Netherlands, I hosted some kind of like networking event a couple of weeks ago, and I'm planning to do a new one in April here. So if you're close to the Netherlands, I would love for you guys to come over. USA, Portugal, India, Chicago. Awesome. Italy. Damn, it's so... for me, it's still surreal that I'm literally like talking to someone from the other side of the world right now. I love the internet. Brazil, Jersey. So, ooh, there's someone from Jersey and there's someone from New York. That's the thing, right? Like, I watched How I Met Your Mother. I know how the relationship between New York and New Jersey is. I think. Australia. Okay, so what is the relation? Okay, so random off-topic stuff. But what's the relation between Jersey and New York? Why do they hate each other? Because they do hate each other, I think, right? That's the thing. The funny thing is, it's really close, but like the region between New York and Jersey was probably like the same size as the Netherlands, so it's so small. It's so small here. This video is getting demonetized. finding new clients together, and also starting a war. Clones of one another. Learn how this Dutch guy single-handedly started a war in America, like a civil war. All right. All right. All good fun. Bring Philly into the mix now. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream right here. Anyways, guys, you like DEF CON 1? Yeah, I've been there 9 years ago. I really loved it. My brother goes every year, so awesome festival. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions, ask them right now because I'm gonna end off the stream. So one thing I want to ask you guys, I do this because I really want to help the community out. I would love for every single person in the Dreadlabs community to thrive, to become a better creative. And the way I try to do that is by keeping up the free videos and live streams. And in order to do so, I actually need to make an income of this because I need to do Dreadlabs full time in order to keep up the content at the pace that I'm doing it right now at. Yeah, why I'm telling you this is because you can actually support Dreadlabs by, if you have the budget, of course. If you become a patron of mine, you'll get access to all of the project files from all of my tutorials and live streams. And that's essentially over 100 PSD files that you can browse through, and you take stuff from copy layer styles, stuff like that. If you go 1 tier up, you'll also get access to some exclusive tutorials, and I'm planning to do more of those in the future as well. But you can also support Dreadlabs by buying some merch. We do have like graphic design mugs, we do have asset packs, of course. We also have a clothing brand called Dread Universe. So those are some of the ways that you can support Dreadlabs if you want to, and if you can, of course. And you know, by buying an asset pack or some merch, you get something out of it yourself as well. And if you don't have the budget to support Dreadlabs, that's of course completely fine, because leaving a like, comment and subscribe on the channel already does a lot, and if you want to share with your friends that might like Dreadlabs as well, it will also really help out. So yeah, let's get to the last questions. How do you feel about sending past clients reminder emails or random snowball? I do that from time to time. So that's and if you've had a good relationship with that client, I would say go for it. But if you've had a bad experience with those clients, I wouldn't, because I don't think there's a point in rehashing a bad client relationship, if that makes sense. Are you buying a hoodie? Oh, thank you so much, Nathan. So there's a link. I think there's a link down in the description to Dread, and the website is dreaduniverse.com. I'm just gonna type it into the chat. Anyways, just one last question, more about Business Way. What's your opinion on using your personal name to make freelance, creating a name separate from your identity name? So I think it really depends on what you want to do, Sophia. So for example, I used to freelance under my name, but when I started Dreadlabs, Dreadlabs was more catering towards designers, but now I'm noticing that these go more hand in hand. So clients reach out to me because I'm Tom from Dreadlabs. So for me, it's really important that you guys know who I am, get familiar with my face, and because I want to have you guys think, or my clients know, that I want to have a personal relationship with them. I want to be involved in their projects, and I love, if I'm interested in what they do, I think that's a way better synergy between the client and the designer. So for me, it's important to maintain a personal relationship. So what I chose to do is I am now profiling myself as Tom from Dreadlabs. So they know my name is Tom, but they also know that I'm part of this larger thing called Dreadlabs. And what I mean with larger thing is, if you want to, for example, start a studio and you're planning on expanding in the near future, I would say use something else as a design name. But if you're planning on being a freelancer and solopreneur, I would say go for it with your own name. And you, like I said, you can also do, let's say that you have your company name is called Studio A because you're planning on expanding and hiring more people in the future. You can always profile yourself as Sophia from Studio A, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. So one without a name, I actually do want to get clients when I'm just starting out, like designing as well as a business side. Is it advisable to be thinking about the business part when just learning? Yeah, it's always a good thing to just do both things, and especially if you're just starting out, you might encounter some parts where you feel a little bit demotivated, you know. Like for example, if you're still learning Photoshop, you can, in my experience, I would get kind of frustrated if something didn't work, or maybe you had some days where you didn't feel creative, or you didn't want to like open up Photoshop, but you still want to do something about your career. And then, you know, thinking about the business side of design isn't such a bad thing. So I think, you know, finding that balance for yourself is a really good thing. And it's a very good thing that you're also really thinking about like the design aspect, or as well as the business aspect, because I know a lot of really, really good designers that are struggling with the business part because they only focused on one thing. So I know that that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely a good thing if you're trying to learn both simultaneously. Tom from Ice Age Baby, keep up the good work, man. I didn't catch your stream. We'll see you. Have a good weekend, man. Thanks for tuning in regardless, because I think you haven't missed a stream in quite a while, so just thank you so much for the support, man. Love you. Where can I find the merch link? I think I just typed it before you asked, but yeah, anyways, I think that's everything. If you want to continue the conversation with other people, or you know, you met some people here in the chat and you want to fight a little bit over Jersey and New York some more, or talk about design, you can also join the Dreadlabs Discord server as well. That way you can keep up the conversation with other creatives as well as me. I check it from time to time. I'm not on there 24/7, but yeah, there's a lot of really cool creative people on there, and people teach each other stuff, and you can ask questions, ask feedback, promote your own stuff. So yeah. I would say if you want to continue the conversation, head to the Dreadlabs Discord. The link might glitch out a little bit, but usually the link works well. And otherwise, you can ask someone to send you an invite, and it should help. So, with all of that being said, this is Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out. Have a nice weekend. Hopefully see you guys in the next stream next week. Not sure what we're going to do yet, but I hope this live stream was helpful. And with all that being said, have a nice weekend and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.